Hari Om Swamiji. Shall we start, Swamiji? Panchadasi, Class 33 Summary. Class 33 of Panchadasi discussed the concept of Panchakoshas that cover the ultimate reality, the Brahman. Swamiji explained that these koshas are conceptual and used for contemplation. They are not the actual layers or they cover the Atma. These koshas are tools for contemplation and understanding. They help spiritual aspirants understand the complexities of the human experience and the nature of reality. Chapter 3 of Sloka 3 says that the body is produced from the seed and blood of the parents. This, in turn, is formed out of the food eaten by them, and it grows by food only. If something is produced from food and sustained by food, then we have to say that it is the product or the manifestation of food. It is not the self because it does not exist before birth or after death. We unknowingly or at the level of the subconscious mind think in a different way. These actions and thoughts are repeated so often and they make strong samskaras. The practice is the discrimination of the body. When you eat, contemplating on the Atma, think that this food is not me. I take this food to maintain this body. The subtlest portion of the food that we eat becomes the mind. Subtlest portion of the food that we eat becomes the mind. The very same food can be tamasic if you eat with that attitude. The situation makes the connection with the food as sattvic or tamasic or rajasic. We have to contemplate on this. Understanding the koshas can help spiritual aspirants navigate the varied human experiences. The teachings can be applied in practical ways to everyday life for personal growth and spiritual development. What we have to focus on is how to differentiate and disconnect this misidentification. Shloka 4 tells us that this body did not exist in the previous birth. Then the question is, how could it have been produced in this birth? Then that would be an effect without a cause. Without existing in the future birth, it cannot enjoy the results of action accumulated here in this birth. This is how we say that before that, this birth, there was another birth. Because without a reason or karma, this present body cannot be produced. The Sukshma Sharira is there in the body. The Sukshma Shariram holds or carries the cause of the body. Without the previous birth, the next birth cannot come. The cause was there before in Sukshma Sharira, in the subtle body. Hence, the body cannot be the self. So, there must be some past actions to account for the pain and the pleasure in this life, since there can be no effect without a cause. The point is that this body, the present birth, cannot be the self or Atma. Taking the body is the result of accumulated karmas. Therefore, the body is the result of someone's karma. Since the body was non existent before this birth, it cannot be this someone. Moreover, it is the effect, it cannot be its own cause. In this birth also, karmas are being done, and so their results are being accumulated. If this body was the one that did the karmas, then the same body must experience the results also. This is not the case as the body is not there after physical death. In other words, it is not the Atma or the self. Swamiji talked about two types of pranas, the personalized prana and the universal prana, or the Hiranyagarbha. The meditation is how this physical body is separate from you, how karma is separated from you. Discrimination between koshas and atma, which is the ultimate reality, is emphasized. In conclusion, by understanding the koshas and discriminating between them and Atma, sadhakas can progress in their understanding of the ultimate reality. We already have the basic understanding. What we have to do is to remove the misunderstanding and confusion. Swamiji concluded with this. Over to Swamiji. Hari Om.
श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्य कृतो वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेद विभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः नमस्ते शंकरानंत गुरुपादाम्बुजन्मने सविलासमहामोह ग्रासग्राहैककर्मणे श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम. We have entered Pranamaya Kosha, the internal part of our existence. We have physical body, and next to that, the internal to that is pranic body. So the important point here is this pranic body is not totally separate from physical body or any other body. Here we consider pranic body as pranamaya kosha, because it is also covering atma. So one is unable to identify atma because of the identification of prana. So now this pranic energy, as we had discussed, it has two forms: universal prana, which is called in Sanskrit as Hiranyagarbha, the pranic body of Hiranyagarbha, or the Mukhya prana. And the second one is individual prana. So each body has pranic energy, not only our body, but also the bodies around us. So this is all individual prana. So the shloka, the fifth shloka said, Purno dehe balam yachanna akshanam yapravartakaha vayu pranamayo naso atma chaitanya varjanat. Purno dehe balam yachanna. akshanam ya pravartakaha. So this vital energy, purnaha dehe, is there in all body. The whole body is with this vital energy. Each cell of the body is acting because of this prana. The main vehicle of prana is our breathing, but we get prana from food as well as water and outside air as when we touch. So we get prana from many. No,
Swamiji, we
Swamiji,
can't hear you clearly.
Okay. इसका पता नहीं बीच बीच में कुछ प्रॉब्लम होता
It looks okay now, Swamiji.
Yeah, now it's fine, Swamiji.
है. Huh? It's
fine,
okay.
Swamiji. Yes.
Yeah, now it is fine.
Okay. I have some problem. Okay. So, and then it says akshanam ya pravartakaha. This pranamaya kosha, prana is activating all our sense organs. Akshanam pravartakaha. Not only sense organs, but also the organs of action. The whole body is activated with that. So purno dehe balam, and this is the body is powered with this prana. The strength in the body is because of prana, and prana is the activator of the organs. So that prana is called pranamaya kosha. Pranamaya naso atma chaitanya varjanat. And this prana, this is important here. Though because of this prana, this body is alive. Without the prana, nothing can be done. So life can be identified as prana. We do also, because when we think about life, the prana is the main part of that. It is identified. But Chaitanya Varjanal, this prana cannot be Atma. Prana is different from this Atma. Atma is different from prana. Why? The reason is Chaitanya Varjanat. It has no consciousness. Prana is devoid of consciousness. Therefore, without Chaitanya, we can't identify prana as Atma. Now, how we know this prana has no consciousness? If we see our sleeping stage, when we sleep, so in the stage of the sushupti, so when we are asleep, there the prana is active. But what is happening around us, what is happening with the body, we don't know, because prana has no consciousness. It cannot identify anything, know anything. So therefore, prana is devoid of consciousness. So we have to say, prana is not Atma. Prana is energy, prana is everything, but it cannot be identified as Atma. So even when we breathe, we don't say the breathing is Atma, breathing is me. Without prana, we can't live. We have no life. The life is without, there is no life without prana. Yet prana is not Atma. So when we think about prana, pranamaya kosha, so this is the identification. Prana and Atma, what is the difference? So prana has no consciousness and Atma is consciousness itself. So now then what is the need of prana? Why Atma needs prana? Atma needs prana to take care of this body. The bodily functions are taken care by the energy of prana, energy as prana. So to activate that, Atma needs prana's help. And if there is no prana, then also Atma is there. Atma is there even in that body. Atma is there everywhere as Satchitananda. But that body has no prana, so the actions in connection with prana is not activated there. So we say it is dead. But body has its own functions in different levels physically, and all those functions are activated or forced by, powered by prana. So vayu pranaha na so atma chaitanya varjanat. So when we do pranayama, if you are all practicing pranayama, it will be easy to identify. When you do pranayama, you just contemplate that this is again a source of energy. It's going inside and creating energy. It's supporting our body by creating energy and maintaining the body. But I am the seer of that prana, that energy. So I am different from that. We know the seer and seen is always different. The seen cannot be seer and seer cannot be seen. There is subject and object relation. The subject cannot be object and object cannot be subject. So if the prana is an object of in connection with my awareness, I am aware about my prana. Therefore, prana is different. So then what is the benefit of this? This the benefit. Benefit is if prana goes out, it means that the stage of death, the death is only separation of Sukshma Sharira and Sthula Sharira. The Sukshma Sharira, the prana goes out, but you are still there. You have no death and birth. So death is not happening in you, or the Atma is not dying. So we practice, if we practice this, we can come out of fear of death. So you will not have fear of death. You know, this whole the concept of life and death is with the prana, and therefore prana is again a vehicle. It is it's functioning as a medium of producing energy and supplying energy. But I am not this prana. So the prana's death, or actually prana is only separated from the body. So this you can overcome fear of death. So this is the benefit of this meditation. So vayu pranamayo naso atma chaitanya varjanat. So you always catch hold on consciousness. Just think, if I am this, I know this, so I am. So always think about the knowing awareness of Atma. You never lose that. Even in Sushupti, you have certain kind of awareness. So very deep, very sukshma. So awareness is ourself. If awareness is self, it cannot be separated, and it's always there. So there is no death of your being. There is no death of your existence. There is no death of your consciousness. So that is the meditation here. So pranamaya kosha is described like this. Now you see the third one is manomaya kosha. We are going deeper and deeper. So physical body we could understand, it is made of food, maintained by food, and it goes back to food as in earth. It goes back to earth. Now prana, we don't know where prana goes. Prana is the form of vayu, the outside air. It become vital energy in our body, and certainly when it goes back, it is identified with the outside air again. Therefore, it cannot be seen. So your vital body or your pranic body is not seen. When it goes outside, and means after death, it is one with the air outside. So let it be like that. Now, the mind is there. We can say mind is in a sleep mode in that stage. In Jagrat, when we are awake, we know it. We know physical body, we know prana. So the knowing how it happens because of mind. So what is the actual role of mind is, if we want to identify mind, mind is connected with sense organs. All the sensory perceptions are happening because of mind. The sensation, the so-called sensation, the sensational experience is mind. So normally we say thinking is mind. Actually, thinking is another part of another role of mind. The mind is the sensation of the outside objects through sense organs. So you get five kinds of perceptions. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, all this, you know this. So, connecting with the organs like eyesight, ear, nose, taste. No, this connecting with these organs, mind works like that. So mind brings all this sensational information. So that part is called mind. So this is Manomaya Kosha. Now how it is? The sixth shloka says, Ahandam mamadam dehe gehadau chakarodiyah कामाद्यवस्थया भ्रांतो नासावात्मा मनोमयः अहंदाम ममदाम देहे गेहादौ च करोति यः. That is manomaya kosha, which have ahanda. Ahanda means I-ness, I am, the feeling of I am, ahanda, clinging to objects. So this is ahanda. So aham, I know. Mamata. So after that it comes mamata, minus. So I and mine. So the I am, so I have these things. So the ahanta and mamata, where they first of all in body, and then gehado, then house and other objects, whatever outside. So yak karoti kamadya avasthaya bhrantaha. Kamadya avastha, modification of desires. There are many desires in different forms. These are all mental thoughts. And bhrantaha, at last, he is confused. Bhrantaha. It's very difficult to decide things because of this desirous actions, and it's always confused with many things. Sometimes we take time to decide what is good, what is bad, what is better, what is good. So we keep on thinking, should I do this, should I do that? No, this is the problem with the mind, because mind goes and gets information, but it is unable to decide what is right, what is wrong. So the next step you have to take. You see, without mind, nothing is possible. We should accept and respect mind. Mind is doing all these things because without senses, we can't do anything. And those sensory informations we get because of mind. So therefore, mind is playing a big role in our life. So kamadya avasthaya bhrantaha. So we don't say these desires are bad. There is not good bad things. The thing is, desires are there, and with desires we live. We have connection with the objects, clinging with the objects. Then only life happens. Otherwise, how life can move? So kamadi avastaya bhrantaha. So now you see what are the parts in this Manomaya Kosha, one is Ahanta. In Manomaya Kosha, the I-ness is there, Ahankara, ego, whatever we say, that's there. And second part is Mamata. It means mind, the connection with other objects, I and mind. So that is there. And third part is Kamadi Avastha. So it has many desires, modification of mental thoughts as desires. So that is third one. The fourth one and the last one is Bhranta. So mind is confused. So that confusion happens. So now you see with these four items, Ahamta, Mamata, and the Kama and Bhranta. So with these four, we can identify the mind and how it works. But as said earlier, Naso Atma Manomaya. Here, when we see mind, mind has knowledge. Mind seems to be consciousness. It's like acting like consciousness. So mind has reflective consciousness, like light reflected in a mirror. You know, it has consciousness that we can call it. We can call it as the reflective consciousness. So it become conscious. So therefore, in this stage, we can't say mind is not conscious. So mind is conscious, mind has consciousness. Now, how mind is not Atma, we will understand that with the second level of Sushupti. No, Sushupti as the third stage of Sushupti. So when it goes to, when we sleep, when there is no mind, we are still there. So mind is coming and going. That is the one reason. It appears and disappears. That is one reason. The second reason is, since childhood, if we see our life, our mind keep on changing. In the childhood, we had some other mind. And in teenage, we had at another mind. And now we have some other mind. And each time mind is changing, slightly it is changing. And you can see before studying Vedanta, you had some other mind. Now after studying Vedanta, again it changes. So this change is happening constantly, steadily. So then how can we say this mind is Atma? We don't feel that childhood we had some other Atma, some other self. We don't feel that. So the Atma, we feel it as the same and one and the same. But mind keep on changing. Therefore, is constantly changing mind cannot be considered as Atma, and it is not Atma. So people change their mind, but they don't change their Atma. If you love somebody, if you are loving that person's mind, then you have to accept it. The mind is going to change, it's bound to change. You can't stop it. So when mind changes, the love also goes. Okay. If you love the person as Atma, as self, as consciousness, it won't change. Then you can think mind is his application. Okay, that I am loving the person, that Atma, the existence of that consciousness, but he or whoever has that mind as application, as a part of his no, uh, bodily part or physical or mental parts. So it's bound to change. So this is the difference. So what is changeable, unsteady, is not considered as Atma. It cannot be considered as Atma. So therefore, mind is not Atma. So similarly, Atma has no kamadi, desires and other things. Because in deep sleep there is no desire. Deep sleep there is no ego, no I, no my. So you are there. Therefore, this mind cannot be considered as Atma. This is a, no, in psychology, they call it a psych. So, in one aspect, we can say the psych become Atma, is become self, because psych is working like self. But it's not true. Psych is not is self. It is beyond. Self is beyond psych. Even people who are in coma, their mind is not by working. Psychologically, they are dead because mind is not active. But the person is still alive. And he is alive fully. Fully in the sense his life is there, fully is there. Only because the mind is not working, he is in coma. So if psych is Atma, then how that person is alive? Because psychologically he is not active. He can't identify anything. He can't react. There is no thought process. So this is the difference. So if we could experience this mind is not Atma, you will be not worried about what is happening with mind, your mind as well as others' mind. You will not react or you will not overreact. So reaction is again, it's a natural process, but overreact, you will not be worried about others or your mind, or we know this is mind, this is body has certain problems and mind has certain problems, and they bring those, it comes time to time and change, it is always changing. So you can overcome all the mental modifications and disturbance if you separate the consciousness yourself from the mind and its actions. This is the benefit of Manomaya Kosha. So the mind is also obviously your object. You know what is happening in your mind. Even a child knows what is happening in its mind. The thinking and all those is very clearly seen as we see a film, no, as we see an object. It's all seen there. So this objectification of mind is Manomaya Kosha. So whenever you could do that, practice Whenever you have some worries, whenever something happens to your mind, just make those things an object and try to disconnect yourself from that. So immediately you can see the realization there. You are realizing yourself, you know, so this is, yeah, it's there. You don't try to avoid that. The avoidance is not the witness process. The witness process is something different from that. We are avoiding, we don't go to that situation, we don't address that situation. That's something different. Because this is what is actually happening in your mind. You are taking all those and accepting it and making it separate from you. It's there in your mind. You know this is there. This pain is there in my body. This worry is there in my body. This anxiety is there in my mind. So you know it well. But if you know how to manage it, that's well and good. And if you don't know to manage, just separate from that. So the time will come and you will get some idea, or somebody will give some idea. Otherwise, Vedanta will give some idea to separate those things, identify those things. Okay, if one could do this, identifying all mental thoughts different from the self, then he won the mind. He overcomes the stages of mind. So he conquered the mind. So this is what we call it manojaya. It's not destroying the mind, not stopping the mind. The distraction, no, stopping is something, this is another process. Some yogic process, some meditation, some samadhi, something can be done there. That we need to practice separately. But in Vedanta, you separate it. Whatever you don't need it, we don't need it, you just separate it. So unidentification with that. So that is Manomaya Kosha. So try to practice this. Now comes Vijnanamaya Kosha. So Vijnanamaya Kosha is Lina Suptau Vapurbodhe Vyapnuyadanakhaagraka Chichayopeda Dhirnatma Vijnanamaya Shabdabhag. लीना सुप्तौर वपुर बोधे व्याप्नुयाद anakhagraka. Vijnanamaya kosha is even subtler than mind. Is again internal of mind, internal to mind. That is Vijnanamaya kosha. We can call it as intellect. So the intellect is subtler than mind, internal to mind. That's the idea here. Now, this Vijnanamaya kosha, intellect, which has the reflection of consciousness, Chitchaya, it is said Chitchaya. Now, what we call as Jivatma, the self, soul as Jivatma, it is this Vijnanamaya only, the reflection of consciousness. Now, we have reflection of consciousness in mind, reflection of consciousness in buddhi. But the original reflection of consciousness is in buddhi only, in Vijnanamaya only. The Vijnanamaya is reflected in mind. Okay, so the mind is again reflected through prana and body. And all sense organs as the reflection of consciousness. So first in Vijnanamaya, the original reflection happens in Vijnanamaya. So mind has the second reflection and the sense organs has the third reflection and the whole physical body has the fourth reflection. So the reflection is called, we have the we have the consciousness with the body. So the body consciousness, how body consciousness is generated? The body consciousness is generated by the sense consciousness, sense organs consciousness, and that is generated by mind's consciousness, the mental consciousness. And mental consciousness is the reflection of Vijnanamaya, intellectual consciousness. Why we say this? Because intellect, Vijnanamaya, has the purest form of Sattva-guna. Vijnanamaya is holding the purest form of Sattva-guna, whatsoever. The Sattva-guna, the purest form. So then that purest form of Sattva-guna, the reflection happens more clearly. Mind has Rajoguna as well as Tamoguna because it has confusion and all those desires and so many things there. Therefore, its reflection is not very clear. It is not pure. It has some forms. It has vasanas, all our habits and tendencies, good habits, bad habits. Everything is there in mind. Therefore, though the reflection is there, but that is not pure. So we have to depend on the reflection of Vijnanamaya Kosha, the consciousness reflection. Now, what is this consciousness reflection? We always say consciousness is reflected. How we can experience that is very, very secret of Vedanta. It is how we call it as reflection. You see, reflection in means, where is the simple identification of reflection is I am. When we say I know, okay, so I know when I say this is my intellectual reflection of consciousness. When I say I think, this is the mental reflection of consciousness. When I say I hear, this is the mental reflection of consciousness. After reflection of the second reflection of consciousness through through ears. So through ear you hear. So this I, you see, how the I shifted from one to another. It is transmitted. So first there was I know, and then I think. So I think I know. We use these terms frequently. We use often these terms. I think I know. Now what does it mean? You think you know? I don't think I know. No, why you are using two verbs there? The think and know. You are getting me? So when I say I think I don't know, I think I know, I think I thought about it, I think I already experienced this. Now you are thinking it and knowing it. So knowing is different from thinking here. So this knowing part is intellectual and the thinking part is mental. You are connecting with the memory there. So when I say I think I know, this part clearly shows this thinking reflection is from the knowing reflection. Because both places we use the I. I am the thinker, I am the knower. So I was the knower, and now the same knower is thinking. So knower can think and thinker can know. So these are all the play of reflection. So how to identify this? Whenever, wherever you use I, it means the self is connected there and the object is something different or the action is different. So this is how we separate Vijnanamaya Kosha and Manomaya Kosha. It's very subtle, but it is interesting to know how they both are different. And their actions are also different. So, Lina Supto Vapuhu Bodhe Vyapnuyat. It has the intellect which has the reflection of pure consciousness. It is spread over whole body from the top to the toe. Top to the toe is means anakagraha. Up to the tips of the fingers of the foot. Top to the toe it is vyaptam. That is called anakagraha. Right from the head to foot. That is what it says. When in the stage of deep sleep, it is always there, but in deep sleep it is like that. So Lina Suptau Vapur Bodhe, in that stage of Vijnanamaya Kosha, Chichaya Upedadhi. So it is there. And when we goes to deep sleep, we have no identification of I don't say I know. So in that stage, only in that stage, this Vijnana Maya Kosha disappears. So Lina means it is gone. It is not appearing, disappears. So Lina Suptau Vapuhu. So where we can identify with the Sushupti, with the experience of deep sleep. Why we say that? Just before deep sleep, we know something. When the knowing process stops, I say, I know, I am, this stops, then you are in deep sleep. Therefore, there in that point, we can identify Vijnanamaya Kosha. Though Vijnanamaya Kosha is there in all actions, in waking state, whatever we experience, we know only because of Vijnanamaya Kosha. But identification is difficult there. We can't identify because the mind is more conscious there, when mind is more working very regularly, and we are using mind there. Therefore, identification of Vijnanamaya Kosha in that stage is very difficult. But when we go to sleep or deep sleep, where the knowing process stops, so that is the last part. And after that, when we are in good sleep, deep sleep, sound sleep, there is no Vijnanamaya Kosha. It means only in that stage it disappears. And it cannot be as self. It is also it is not self because it is too changeable. It is appearing and disappear. This is the reason. Now it is very difficult to separate Vijnanamaya Kosha and Atma. the true self. Because Vijnanamaya Kosha has all the qualities, seems to be having all the qualities of Vijnanam, Atma. Because the I know, I say I am. So this experience is there in Vijnanamaya Kosha. Now, how can we say Vijnanamaya Kosha is not Atma? With only one reason, that Vijnanamaya Kosha appears and disappears. Because I know sometimes I don't know. So in the stage of deep sleep, I don't know. And the stage of waking state, I know. So only this is a tool to identify this both or disconnect this. So appearing and disappear. Now, one more shloka is there for Vijnanamaya, which is talking about the difference between Manomaya and Vijnanamaya. Now we had the discussion here, Manomaya and Vijnanamaya, that I say I know and I think. So something like this we can differentiate. But here we will have more clarification into this. What is the difference between Manomaya and Vijnanamaya? Kartritva karanattvabhyam vikriyedantharindriyam Vijnanamanasi andarbahishchede parasparam. Kartritva and karana. Kartritva karanattvabhyam vikriyeda andarindriyam Vijnanamanasi. So now we have Vijnanamaya Kosha, the so-called intellect. The intellect become kartritva. Intellect become doer. So the Vijnanamaya Kosha become doer. So I do. When I say I do, I think. So wherever I use this I, that I is Vijnanamaya Kosha. The kartritva karanattvabhyam. And Manomaya Kosha is karana. Karana means instrument. So sense of doership. Now the first one is sense of doership. The doership is called karta, kartritvam, and that kartritvam is Vijnanamaya Kosha. And karana is instrumental function. That's called karana. And mind is karana. It become instrumental. But from the Atma's point of view, even this buddhi, this Vijnanamaya Kosha is also instrumental. It's also instrument. But to separate Vijnanamaya and Manomaya, we can call it Vijnanamaya as the sense of doership and Manomaya as the instrumental function. So kartritva karanattvabhyam vikriyeda antarindriyam, internal organ. Antarindriya means internal organ. Vijnanamanasi andarbahishcha paraspara. Now if you want to separate, Acharya is giving one more additional function or additional lakshana of that. How we can identify this? Andar bahir. So the mind field is outer part and the intellect field is inner part. As the step by step when we think. So the outer part and inner part has these two different identification as sense of doership and instrumental function. So these are the things. Now, as I said, mind is thinking process and buddhi can be identified as knowing process. So thinking is lower to knowing, because after you know, then you think. So thinking must have knowing before. So the knowing and thinking is one after another. So without knowing, we can't think. So therefore, intellect has a better place as knowing, and mind has the second place as thinking. So this is the process here. So thinking is considered as instrumental, and knowing is considered as I know, is a better sense of doership. So I think I know, because when I say I know, you see, you can avoid sometimes thinking about something. If you don't want to think about a particular thing, you can avoid, but you can't avoid knowing. You understand this trick? It's very interesting. You can avoid thinking. If you don't want to think, you will try to avoid thinking, but you can't avoid knowing, because what you are trying to avoid, you know it. No, you can't stop knowing. So the avoidable object is also the object of knowing. Therefore, it is there. So that is the position, better position of intellect. Only by knowing you can avoid, no? If you don't want to think, don't want to remember, only by knowing you can do that. Without that, it's not possible. So therefore, kartritvam, karanatvam, and vijnana manasi and andar bahir. So Acharya has given all these separation, no, points of separation. So this way you can separate. So now contemplate on, take any thought, any objective thought, and find out from where the doership is, where the instrumental part of that, where I know, where I think, what is that? So you will have three parts at least. One part is an object, the character of object, that is what is that object. And the second part is thinking about that object. You know the name and form and all those details of the object you are thinking about. And the third part is you know this, you know as an object, you know as its name and all the details. So this is how it is connected. So the concept of thinking is formed from the knowing. It's the knowing is the base of all this. So this is how it is. The thinking part is outer and the knowing part is inner. How here we are separating this. As I said, buddhi is, intellect is sattvic, and if you compare with that, intellect is sattvic and mind is rajasic and tamasic. So mind is more active. It seemingly it is active. Intellect is also active, but the action is not very clear. We can't separate the action of intellect. As I said, where you want to avoid something, you want to forget something, even that object, that process, you know. So you can only avoid thinking process if you want, but knowing process cannot be avoided. Yeah. So you can forget something, but You know you forget. You forgot it. So what you forgot, you know, I forgot this, something like this. I don't remember that. So now this, you don't remember that, who knows that? You know, no? You know I don't remember. So this knowing is very important. This is what we call it Manoma Vijnanamaya Kosha. Therefore, you can't bring out what is happening in your mind sometimes, because this knowing process never stops. Without memory also you know it, and with memory you know it. With object you know, without object also you know. So the knowing process is because of intellect, and the knowledge is formed by the power of self itself, because self is knowledge, consciousness. So this is the connection and separation of this self intellect mind. So between intellect and self, between self and intellect, no sorry, intellect and self, and intellect and mind. So we separated something like this. So you contemplate on this, try to identify all these techniques and meditate on that. Whenever you have some thought, you are doing, you are engaged in any action, when it get indulged in any form of action, try to find out the physical part and the pranic part, pranamaya, and the mental part, thinking process, and knowing process. Now we have four. Out of four, all the four parts of action you can find out from single process. Any action you perform, it can be separated into four parts, at least these four koshas. The action will have some physical part, and that prana is always there. Physical part is there, then prana is there. Even when you sleep, the physical part is also there, pranic part is also there, and mind and intellect is sleeping. So this way, it's quite interesting to do this analysis. You can do with all your action outside world, whatever is happening. Then you will know how this world is an appearance of your mind. When you separate all these ingredients, you can separate, you will know your misidentification with all this. So the prapancham, this world of creation is separated. So object will stay back as object, and the subject become the knower. So this is a process here. As I said, each shloka is identifying the kosha and giving the reason why that kosha is not Atma. So you note down all these points and contemplate on this. I think we can stop here, because now we have Anandamaya kosha. So it is a different subject. We have to discuss more on that. Anandamaya Kosha. So we will take up that subject for next session. Thank you. Hari Om.
Swamiji, may I ask you a doubt?
Yeah, welcome.
Good evening, Swamiji. Swamiji, from the discussion, may I ask you that the Vijnanamaya Kosha, that the third one, whatever one person say, or one person, one person's mental, that is, activities are there. All those are identified, and all those are, that is the kartrutva is given to Vijnanamaya. Is it like that? Uh, and whatever I feel, I see, I know, all those are resultant of Vijnanamaya Kosha. That is what I understood. And is that you were saying that it is not the real Atma, but it is the Vijnanamaya Kosha, part of that Atma, or that intellect. And the second thing,
Reflection of Atma.
Swamiji, one more thing is, if that is a person, you mentioned that only the I know remains when I see, I hear, I listen, or I sense. All those functions are not working. Then also I know remains. But Swamiji, if a person whose five sensory organs are not working, and then is it possible for a person to understand something? The mind or Vijnanmaya Kosha knows something which is gone in through these five sensory organs. How can a person understand something, or how can a person differentiate something? I know remains. Please, can
I
you
know
explain that?
remains. I know remains because the person will know that the sense organs are not working, or it has some problem. It is not in action. So this particular thing, how he knows, that is the knowing. That is, I know that my eyesight is not working nowadays. It is not good. I know my hearing is less now. I know I has this knee pain. Know I have this pain. So this the separate no identification of those. So the not working, how it knows? Because the ear cannot say I am not working. No. So let's say like that. So if your mind is fluctuating, your mind is not steady, you are is not concentrated, so this you know it. So then only you can say that. When we go to a psychiatrist or a doctor or whoever, how we say I have this problem like this, it is happening like this. So because you know all what is happening there. So those happenings are different from you because you know it. So therefore, even in that stage, intellect is knowing that. Therefore, I said, if we can identify with this, we have conquered mind and all other objective sensations. Why? Because you know this, okay, this is mind has this problem. I wanted to do this, but it's not working like that. It is not supporting me. So this clear identification of separation, that is because of this intellect part. Why we bring there the intellect part is not directly Atma, because directly Atma doesn't do anything. There is no work with the Atma. So therefore, there is nothing happening. If we know it, the knowing is also a process. It's a sattvic action. So we bring that element as intellect there. Therefore, I said, you know always. The knowing cannot be stopped. Knowing can only stop when you are in samadhi, thoughtlessness, and otherwise normally in deep sleep.
that is, the person who is knowing is the Vijnanamaya Kosha is knowing. The soul
Yeah.
is not. Soul has no
Soul is
kartritva.
reflected there in Vijnanamaya.
Vijnanamaya Kosha. Okay, Swamiji, one more doubt is in the if we analyze a dream, then in that dream there is no personification of the person who is seeing. It is only at that time, if we are in a dream state or when we wake up from that dream state, I understand that I am not seen there, but I experience the dream. I can see the other images of the persons, but I cannot see the image of myself. But I am there. I am experiencing that dream. I am in that dream. That is what I feel. Is it like that in the view of Shastra?
No, it's like no, you are always there. The absence of self never happens. So it is
It is
very
not.
similar to waking state. Only the difference, waking state has all the sense organs in action, and dream state only the sense organs stopped, but mind is creating all sensual experience there, sensory experience there.
Mind is
And
experiencing, or
one
mind
more,
is also.
excuse me,
No,
excuse me,
experience and
one,
experiencer is different only, because otherwise you can't see the experience. The
excuse me,
experiencer is
please ask only
Atma,
one question.
the experiencer of the waking state. The same experiencer is experiencing in deep sleep, in the dream state. And the experiencer is there in deep sleeps as well.
Please ask only one question and give room for others.
Thank you.
Swamiji, Hari Om Swamiji. I just want to know, so people with dementia, they know, but their instrument that I think their thinking processes, that memory process is a problem, right?
You're correct.
And how is it different in coma, Dr. Swamiji?
Coma also, actually coma, the brain stops, you can say the main part of brain is stopped. And when they come out of coma, if you ask what they say
I don't know.
we were not knowing anything. We don't know what happened. Still they say we don't know what happened.
Okay, okay.
No, it means the consciousness and the subtlest part of intellect was still working. They never say we were not there, or it's not there. Even that is known.
So I know I don't know.
Even that is identified. No, that
yes, yes.
how I don't know, I know it.
Okay, so same as anesthesia, right? Same thing.
Yeah, anesthesia also is the same thing.
Yeah, all right. Thank you, Swamiji.
Namaste, Swamiji. Swamiji, in the
Yes.
fifth sloka, Swamiji, on prana. So at the time of death, does the prana merge into the samashti?
Yeah, prana is one with the vayu outside, with the identification of sukshma sharira. The sukshma sharira, because sukshma sharira is the what do we call it, person, no?
Yes,
That person, now person had sthula sharira, that sthula sharira is separated, and then sukshma sharira, the 17 parts of sukshma sharira, that is there. But now that sukshma sharira is one with, you can say it is like one with the vayu. That is how it moves. It goes to another world, another body through vayu only. but it has some identification which cannot be separated. Like, no, for example, I used to give this example nowadays that now we are using mobiles. So the mobile, how the data, how the information is received in the mobile, the information is there in the in the air as electromagnetic field or whatever, in the form of that it is there, and from that transmitter it is coming, and it's around us, it's everywhere, you can say. Okay, now where your mobile number is identifying that it receives that particular information, it receives. So all those informations are there around us, it is one with the air, but even then that particular number and its information is separated. Similarly, it goes to the it is one with the air, like, no, it is after death, it is there in the form of air or whatever we can say, atmosphere, it is there. And when that person's identification as a karma phala, karma and its all modifications, those are the identification, the sankalpa and its karma, and then that jiva goes to another birth as the mobile connected with the mobile number, the particular mobile number. If you know this process, how the mobile works, you can understand this process very well, because this birth and death has appearing and disappearing. So that information should get the mobile, the set of mobile, no, that device on. If that device on, then that can be received. Similarly, when the body is formed with that karma, then that Sushma Sharira is received in that. If your mobile is off, it means that body is not formed, the body is not active, it is not ready, so it cannot come.
Yes, Swami.
So this is how it works.
Yeah, I understand that, Swami, but my question is, this prana itself is a part of the Sukshma Sharira.
Correct.
So does the prana disintegrate when the jiva travels? So then the Sukshma Sharira is traveling. When the Sukshma Sharira is traveling, does the prana alone get into Samashti?
No.
So the prana, individual prana is still retained.
What I mean is prana along with Sushma Sharira. I said that there itself. I said prana here is main there in Sukshma Sharira, because the traveling process and everything is because of prana only. So the prana is the main vehicle of Sushma Sharira. I used this word also, the vehicle. Yes. So prana is the vehicle of Sushma Sharira, and this mind is also there. All other karmas and everything is there. And it goes like this. And how it goes, in that point I said, if prana become one with the Vayu. So therefore you are unable to see the separation of things like that. Yeah. Okay. You can only see as a Vayu. Therefore, the Preda Shariram, no, we do all Shraddham and Karmas and like that. They are all there in the form as Vayu Sharira. They have Vayu, air body. They have that earthly body. They have air body. This body is like air only. We say it is body, but it is air only.
But is that individual prana retained, I'm asking, as a jiva? Is the individual prana retained as a jiva?
Yes, we take it as a jiva for the understanding of karma and rebirth, because that jiva is identified in that prana, and reflected in that mind. So with that, so there is a sutram in Brahma Sutra. It says the same thing. So jiva is going and coming because of Sushma Sharira is going and coming. That's all. Jiva is not moving, like sunlight is not moving.
Yeah.
But the vessel is moving, then you feel that sunlight is also moving. Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Thank you. Thank you.
Namaskaram, Swamiji, Pranam.
Yes.
At the outset, Swamiji, I would request Dr. Kamla and all the sadhakas to raise their hands, whosoever wants to ask the question, because it makes a haphazard manner. And Dr. Kamla would call one by one, everyone, so that there is no confusion. And my question to Swamiji is that since Swamiji, we saw through our study with you that anything that undergoes vikara is anatma or asatya, right? And we see that particularly body, mind, and this intellect, etc., they particularly go into sleep. I mean, they undergo some such modification during deep sleep that they are not active. So they are anatma. But prana is constantly active, and there is no vikara, there is no deformation going in prana. So how can we differentiate prana with atma? How can what can be difference?
That
And
is
second
what
thing,
we what is just now I said, no, Chaitanya Varjanat, because though prana is there, working and everything is there, but it is devoid of consciousness. Therefore, it is not knowing the outside objects or what is happening with the body.
that even intellect does not know. Suppose we are sleeping.
Yeah, intellect does not know because intellect is sleeping.
Yes, that's what I said, Swamiji. Prana doesn't know because prana doesn't know what happens to the body during deep sleep. Even intellect doesn't know. If someone comes and kills me during deep sleep, my intellect can't save me. So is prana.
Yeah. Same thing,
So,
because intellect cannot save you because intellect is also down. It is like Lena. Just now we said no. Intellect is not working there. Mind is not working. Therefore, it cannot identify. But prana is working. When you are sleeping, you are in deep sleep. Somebody take your things from your room. Prana is still working. Prana is not saying that you see that chore came and it is chore is taking all the. It never says. The difference is intellect is sleeping, therefore it cannot identify. But prana is not sleeping. Prana is completely active in full form. So why it is not reacting? Because it is not conscious.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it is not conscious. But prana can't work if it is not supported by consciousness, I think.
That is another thing. Prana is because consciousness is there in the body. It is sleeping or in any other form. It is there. Not only consciousness, mind is also there. Intellect is also there. It is all supporting. The support is there because the subconscious mind in small form, it is working there. Therefore, we have all our bodily functions are like digestion and all other things are happening. No, so subconscious mind is there, but that mind is not conscious as to identify outside things.
And Swamiji, you said Atma is there even in a dead body.
Yeah, Atma is there in dead body as the Satchidananda is there. Because if Atma is there in the wood, if Atma is there in the stone, the Atma is there in the dead body as well.
So what happens when dead body is burnt on a fire?
Nothing happens.
Atma is still there.
When you destroy you destroy your house or you destroy something, what happens? The same thing happens. If you burn out a wood piece, what happens to it? The same thing happens to the body.
So Atma exits the body.
So Atma has nothing to do with that, because what is happening, the burning happening in the physical part of that. When you burn out a firewood, what is happening there? The firewood, the carbon part and other parts of the firewood is separated. The gases are separated, and the atoms are separated, and the carbon is left back.
That's right. That's right, Swamiji. But wood
this is
is
the
not
same thing
Chaitanya.
happens.
But wood
There
is
is
not
no
Chaitanyam.
difference
That is
between.
Jadam.
Yeah, there is no difference between a wood and the dead body. There is no difference. Only dead body has some water content in that, and firewood may not have that. That's all. So burning and other process is the same.
But when Atma is there in the dead body,
what I said, no, Atma is there in the dead body, Atma is there in the firewood, Atma is there in the stone, Atma is there in your house, Atma is there in your, no, whatever you see outside and inside. It is always there. You are identifying what you are saying as Atma is the Atma, we call it as Vijnanamaya or Manomaya, so identified with the mind and intellect. If you call that as Atma, that is not there.
No, not at all.
If you call it as a Satchidananda Atma, Satchidananda is Atma is everywhere. No?
I call
sunlight
Atma as
is everywhere.
Chaitanyam. I call Atma as Chaitanyam. I identify Atma as Chaitanyam.
Chaitanyam is not only Chaitanyam, Sat Chit Ananda. Because if you only call it Chaitanyam as consciousness, then intellect is the Chaitanyam for you. Because Atma is still behind intellect. So intellect has all the changes, and now intellect is not working in that body. So you say there is no Atma in that body. But there is Atma in that body. As Satchidananda. So you always think about the comparison of as a firewood and dead body. Now, if you can prove that if there is a difference between firewood and dead body, then we can say, okay, then what is the difference? So we say even in firewood, Atma is there. So how it is? Because Satchidananda is there and the manifestation of intellect is not there in firewood. So it is not manifested. It is not acting like a person or like a living being. And now this dead body was a living being. Now it is not acting like a living being because the living how it was living being because of mind and intellect or working like that. So now mind, intellect and prana is separated. So the dead body become dead body. But still Atma is there.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, we had a good question answers. I know everybody asked very good questions. I am very happy. So thank you. Hari Om Narayan.
Hari Om.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.